Hello Facebook, it is me, founder and CEO of Forgotten Veterans UK, Gaz Weaving, hashtag SexyG, hashtag Billy Elliot of Veterans, whatever. I don't know why. My wife said to me the other day, she said, why do you keep calling yourself Sexy G? You're not sexy. And I was alright, thanks love. Maybe back in the day in me size 30 white Levi's, love. I accept the sexiness was a bit more than it is these days, but you know, sexiness is always it's not always by the eye. But hey ho. Hello Steve, hello Chris, thank you for joining me. So it's the September C3 camp. Happy days. As you know, we've had an extremely busy time as usual recently. We did Extreme Portalooing last week, which was a raging success, and we raised £10,000 doing that. Then we went home for one night, and then we had a camp for adults with learning difficulties, just for one night. It was the most awe-inspiring camp ever. We had an absolute riot. Because let's be honest, foods were sponsored by Morrison's, rents are paid, it's not costing the charity anything, just our time, you know. And the guys that came down to support, lead them, work with them, have fun with them, do craft with them, play games with them, march them about, they said this has been the best experience, let alone what it did for the adults that came here. And it was absolutely incredible. And all they keep saying, apparently, to their leaders down at the centre is, when are we going back to Fort Cumberland to see Gaz and the boys? So that's lovely, you know. And hopefully they're going to be involved in a fundraising idea I've got coming up towards the end of the year. So, you know, community engagement is just as important. You know, it doesn't have to be just veterans helping veterans. It can be veterans helping civilians, which is really good. Hello, Warren. Which is really good for the veterans that are doing it. You know, help building confidence, using leadership skills again, and all of that business. Right, let's have a little scroll through, see who we got. John, Linda, Spud, Glenn, Steve, Robert, Nikki, Francis, Kate, Florence, and Mick. Hi guys, thanks for joining Sexy G on the September C3 Camp Live Special. So, what are we doing this weekend at Group Camp? Well, we have the Leon Solent event. We've been manning that as well. So guys have been down, some of the team have been down there, and some of the beneficiaries working that. We've also carried on now today with the yurt building. Big shout out to Mini Weaving, my son, for coming down to help with the build, because he's a brickie and stuff, so it makes sense. He's doing a great job over there. Some of the specials that have got mobility problems, we've just dropped down to the D-Day Museum for a couple of hours. So they're going to go down there and go and have a look around that. We got barbecue for lunch. Hopefully it's going to stop drizzling. Then we got, team stuff organised for tonight. And then hopefully tomorrow we're going to be out. The brickwork would have gone off enough that we can start putting our decking bases onto the posts. And I know some of you know that we've been given positive pathway funding, and one of our objectives for next year is to start up a full craft and joinery workshop. I want 3D printers, laser printers. It all comes out of grant money, so it's nothing to do with your pound. I wouldn't spend it on that, because your money goes to the veterans and nowhere else. And there's a local veterans shed that have run out of contract on their tenancy, and it's not being renewed because it's being sold, and they're now going to come over and take over the vet shed. And they came round here yesterday because they haven't been able to meet and they've been missing meeting. So they came round here yesterday and went, right, Gaz, you get them on there and we'll come in and start getting involved in all the carpentry. And they've even gone off to make a special FV UK, a big one, that's going to sit in the middle of the decking, which is going to look awesome. The yurts are en route. So they will be here sooner or later, and then we're going to have a big swanky bash, and we're going to get Portsmouth's oldest surviving D-Day para, Arthur, to come along, and they're all going to be dedicated to him. He was one of the 180 odds that survived at the Bridge Too Far out of 8,000 that got killed. So what that man hasn't seen is not worth knowing. And what an inspiration that these yurts are all going to be done out. We're getting all these pictures reprinted, him meeting Prince Charles and all the wonderful things he's achieved. And it's all going to be about Arthur's life. And when some of these guys come down and they spend a bit of time in these yurts and they sit there and they think the whole world's on top of them, what an inspiration to look about and see, well, if Arthur could get through what he got through, then we can get through what we can get through. So that's going to be incredible. We're looking forward to that. I told you that we got a special visitor coming down, but I was quite coy about that. Well, Babcock's, well, you got BAE Systems and Babcock's. They're the two halves of the contractors for the Ministry of Defence. BAE Systems, for those that don't know, build the weapons, and Babcock's refurbish all the ships. They've got the agreements for all over the contracts for all the houses across the UK, all the service houses. They do a hell of a lot. Well, Babcock's International have heard of our work, and they're having a big drive into mental health, and the CEO of Babcock's International has written out a cheque for £5,000. He says, is that enough to get me a visit? And I'd really like to come down to see what we could do to support you guys. So that's amazing news. Even if I don't squeeze him for no more cash, bragging rights, getting him down here by itself is worth its weight in gold. So you never know. If I work my magic charms, I could get round him. I've got a bit of a sore throat. It's not COVID, because we've all done COVID tests. I've just got this throaty thing that's been going around. But I'm all right. I don't feel unwell, so normal jogging as usual. I did manage to have a couple of days working from home last week, which was nice. The phone didn't stop, it never does. But at least I got to sit in my undercrackers on the sofa. So that was good. Hoping to get a couple of days off next week as well, because not just me, a lot of my crew, because we really have been pushing ourselves against it. Not only are we doing the yurt building this weekend, going to D-Day Museum, karaoke, and all the games and stuff that we do, we've got all four of our specialists in. Anthony, who's a therapist, Cliff, that's a professional life coach, Jackie, that's the NHS social prescriber, and they're all in working with the veterans this weekend as well, going through benefits and counselling and life coaching skills, and you name it. If we can do it, we will help them, but you lot know that. Hi Tammy, lovely to join us. Thank you for joining us. So, should we have a little nose about? Oh yes, let's have a little nose about. So, here's my son, Mini Weaving. He's got his father's head, his father's confidence, but not the same brains. He's not enjoying being bossed about by Dad at the moment. But hey ho, you know, you've been a good boy, Aiden. You can have electric in your room tonight. You can have some electric. All right, I've told Mum to let you have some electric as a special treat. All right. Hayden is single. He's ready to mingle. So if there's any ladies out there, get in touch. He's not particularly fussed. He's up for getting his grey wings. So he'll take it where he can, and he's probably going to make an old lady extremely happy. So get in comms. Maybe do hashtag I love mini weaving. So here we are today. So what we're starting to do on one of the bases is lay base slabs, and this side will have 2 bricks high on top of that. They're going to be hidden under the decking. These are going to be haunched up around the edges with concrete to stop them sliding, because the problem is here, we cannot put anything in the ground at all. It's all got to come above ground. Weed suppressant to stop any weeds from growing up. And so this will have a two brick pier on it, and they will get attached to the decking. The decking will then be attached to the brickwork, which will be attached to the slab. The reason we're doing this is because once in a blue moon, this place here does flood because of the sea defences. Literally, the sea is just behind that orange building. So just occasionally it gets about half a foot deep, which is fine when it's tense because they get moved out. We haven't seen this area flood yet, but I've heard it can. And also, because we can't fix the yurts to the floor, we've also got to have something of weight to attach it to. Hence, they're going on brick piers and stuff like that. The front of them are going to have log lap, which is that stuff there, on a soldier course, all the way round, to tidy it up. So this one here will go over there. That one there will get what that's getting, but only 1 brick high. And the bit in the centre is just going to be a decking. And the vet shed have gone off to make a lovely big FVUK that we can set into the floor. And then around it, these benches will be set into the stub work to stop them falling over. So it'll be a nice little seated area. We're going to have a disabled ramp from roughly here to somewhere near that decking, 1 in 20. These are going to be planters. We're going to keep 1 spare for dead Gary, because that's where he's going. And then we're going to have like a pergola over the top. This one over here will have a step into it. This one over here will have a ramp into it, so there's something for all capabilities. They're going to have log burners, they're going to have solar panels, they're going to be lined, it's all going to be paraffined, and this is going to be incredible. And we're going to rig up loads of like lanterns and bulby type things, so it all looks really pretty at night, which is nice. Here's some of the guys here knocking up the cement. I could have got a mixer in, but I'm a bit mean and too tight. Save the pennies. Here's some of the other guys here. Glenn's down there going around renovating some of our plaques to the fallen, or the ones that have taken their own lives. Ryan's brought his boy in as slave labour. I like his style. Lots of tents up, so it's really good. It's nice. It's nice. We've got a nice vibe going on here, so it's all good in the pud. So, does anyone want to ask any questions? Go on, ask me anything. Ask me anything, and I'll give you a straight answer if it's criminally, if I'm not going to get convicted for it. Anything? So who else we got here? Andy Malters, Jeff Miller, Stephen Haynes. Sorry you can't be here this time, Stephen. Donna, Barbara, Trev Naylor. I've had a huge influx of volunteers recently. More people are coming down to get involved. So the team's just growing and growing and growing and growing. So we're really, really happy with that. We've got a new one moving into our house Monday, who is unhouseable for private reasons, but he will be moving into our house to help him move forward with his problems. We've got 3 veterans that are actually moving to Portsmouth now because they'd rather be here than in their hometowns, because this is where their support network is, this is where they feel happy, this is where they get help, this is where they move forward in their life. Right, here I've got a question. Where is your location, Paul T. Isaac? We are at Fort Cumberland in Portsmouth. Literally, that's the seafront. Hang on. The seafront is just over that wall. The last people to house this, to the military people to have this, was the Royal Marines, and they left in 1986. This is actually where the Cockle Bay Heroes were formed, and they practised in the Solent over that wall. And so this is actually the birthplace of the SBS, which is nice little bit of information. It was started in the 1700s by Lord Cumberland, and it was kind of part of the Folly Forts. But this one's different because it's the only star-shaped fort in the country. It took 35 years to build the inner part, which is basically the centre compound of it all, which you see going around there. And then it took another 35 years, to build all the outer defence walls as well, and that was started in the 1800s. Mike Hewlett, you do a lot of talking. Right, Stephen Haynes, how is the catering going with so many to feed? Well, we've got a large cook team. There's probably 7 or 8 cooks now in the team. Some just come in and do one night, some just come in and do one lunch, some just get involved in everything. So that's going well. We've got a nice barbecue lunch for Scoff soon, and I'm getting a bit hungry because I missed breakfast. So that's all good. And that's one thing you get here is fed, you know. There are larger charities that charge you a small fortune to go and eat in one of their places. And look, the truth is, a lot of the guys that come here for one reason or another don't work. So they ain't going to be able to afford to feed themselves all weekend, you know. And some of the guys don't barely eat, you know, they're by themselves. So to put a good bit of scoff in front of them and make sure they're well fed is paramount. That's subsidised by Morrison's and NHS England. Part of their funding every year goes towards the upkeep of camps. So when I say your pound goes directly to a veteran, that's exactly where it goes. Not on wages, none of that. It goes directly to a veteran, or on a veteran. You know, it pays for me to drive all up north and go to a child custody battle. It pays for the hardship stuff that we do, and all stuff like that. So that's exactly where it goes. You know, it's not stored or stashed. Right, I've got another question. Francis Bailey, that's why he's got a sore throat. I am known for having a chat, but it'd be a very bored live feed if all I did was stand there quiet, let's be honest. And again, the amount of people that have come here and said, the only reason I'm here is because I feel like I've known you. I feel like I know you before I got here, and that really helps with the anxiety of coming to a new place. So it seems to work well for us. Sometimes I should be a little bit more CEO than Squaddy. But there was an old boy, quite a posh man, walking along the seafront last week. And he said, hello, I watch your live feeds. I went, I do apologise. And he went, no, don't you change at all. They are perfect. We watch you because you're interesting. We watch you because you give an opinion. We watch you because you're funny. He didn't say he watches me because I'm sexy, but I know that's what he meant. He just wasn't confident enough to say it. Yeah, I've got some new, really quite exciting news, which is going to be released quite shortly. You know, I was in shock. When these people approached us, I was in absolute shock. And I was like, really, me? Why me? Why do you want to give that to me? And, you know, it will come out in due course. It's a wonderful gesture. And, you know, it's very kind of them. And I'm looking forward to sharing that news with you, but I'm not quite ready. We're going to do it officially. All right? So watch out what's coming. Right, Paul, I'm actually discharged Royal Navy vet after attempting to be a Royal Marine. That was 70 still, but still can't adjust as my dad was a petty officer. Well, Paul, the reality is, you know, you don't actually have to have mental health problems to come to Fort Cumberland. A lot of people come because they want to be part of something again. A lot of them come to avoid having mental health problems, to nip it in the bud. Isn't it better to deal with a small problem than a large one? Isn't it better to you know, to get it sorted before it grows to crisis? You know, and that's the best way forward. A lot of people come here because they want to belong again. They want to belong to something. They want to feel part of a brotherhood, sisterhood again. They want to feel part of a family. And we literally have from 20-year-olds to 90-year-olds come here. We do Old Fuckers Thursday. That's the unofficial name, but the old people love it. Where we go and get all the old people from all the nursing homes and we bring them down here for brew and butties and banters. So that's going really well. The buddy scheme's ticking away, doing what it's always done. And the hardship payments, you know, I did 4 yesterday. I don't bang on about it as much now because there's so much going on. But we are still helping people. We're helping people where they've got nowhere else to go. You know, they run out of options. They can't get the help quick enough. And it's always very small, menial amounts. But if I believe in what they're asking, and I think it's feasible and achievable, then they get the help. Can they keep coming back like it's a tap? No. You know, we will entertain certain things. It's not a one-hit wonder. But, you know, there has to be a point where we have to say, but why are you broke? Why can't you afford electric? And that's where our benefits expert comes in. And she goes through all of that to see if they're getting what they should have. Are they entitled to PIP? They call Jackie Mrs. Pip because she don't lose a case. But she also can only act on what's there, medical evidence. And she has to be truthful with the guys and say, you know, if you're not hitting the points, then we're not going to tell you you're going to get this when there's a good chance you're not. I live in Wales, love to come. Chris, there's someone called Taff here, funny enough. He comes from Wales all the time. Maybe you could link up with him somewhere in the run. And a lot of people say what they like about here is they make so many new friends. And, you know, and they always feel like there's someone out there, you know, how you doing today, mate? How things keeping? And that's also just as important. Really is. You know, so we can't forget that. What nights grab a granny? Every night at Fort Cumberland. You got more chance of grabbing an old bloke, I'll be quite honest, but, you know, it's a modern world. So, it is what it is down there. It's Veterans Helping Veterans, and we're very, very proud of what we do. Someone said we're the biggest bunch of dysfunctional misfits, led by the biggest dysfunctional misfit of them all. And maybe that's why it works. You know, I am them. I've walked it, I've talked it, I've had to help myself, I had to get myself back out the gutter. And I did that with the help of you guys, you know. Facebook taught me I am worth something, I am loved, and people appreciate me. And you can't beat that for self-worth and self-satisfaction. That's the truth. Right, I'm going to stop waffling because I can talk for Britain. It's an amazing camp. There's about 40 of us here, which is really good numbers. Everyone's doing what they can do. Some are peeling spuds, some are sweeping up, some are gone to D-Day, some are knocking up cement. So, you know, there's something for everyone here. Of course, some are just chilling, drinking coffee. Some are working through their care plans and working on their timelines and actions. You know, it's not just come to Fort Cumberland for a few days, now you're fixed, sod off. Because it don't work like that. It's an uphill journey, you know. But as long as they're prepared to help themselves, as long as they're prepared to take a bit of guidance and put some effort in, then I'm there for them. We all are. And my pockets and patience get deeper the more they do it for themselves. So, I'm Sexy J, Mrs. Weaving, whether you like it or not. I'm the founder and CEO of Forgotten Veterans UK. I'm privileged that you lot trust me enough to give me your money so I can help these guys. Alright, we're slowly changing the NHS's mind. We're slowly changing the government's mind. And that's all I ever set out to do, was to see a change. And we are getting there. Are we anywhere near? No. But we're a lot better than we were. Right, Misfits, the main reason it works and seems to be open to anyone. Many other support groups have an agenda that sees those in real need as a secondary. Forgotten Veterans are simply brilliant. Thank you, Derek, that means so much. I'm Gaz Weaving. This is Fort Cumberland. This is my crew, my family. We work as one. One in, all in. Good night. Bye-bye. Good night. Ain't bedtime yet. Laters.